Today we're going to be focusing on Thanksgiving, more specifically how you can maximize your happiness and utility if you're hosting the big meal. This holiday can become expensive in a hurry, and I want to make sure we all have a happy Thanksgiving without breaking the bank. Things breaking in November, I've got a story about that. Good morning and welcome to the HopeFilled Financial Podcast. My name is Jay Disberger, your one and only HopeFilled Financial Coach, and I'm happy that you're here with us today. Assuming nothing terrible deviates on my programming, this episode's coming out really close to Halloween, but I'm looking forward already to November. You see, my birthday falls pretty close to Thanksgiving, which gives me this natural bias that Thanksgiving is awesome. It's one of my favorite holidays. It's been one of my most memorable holidays through the years, from childhood to adulthood. There's something really special about the traditional dishes that are presented on Thanksgiving Day that you don't really get any other time of the year. It's a very special meal, and I really appreciate focusing on things that I'm grateful for, things I'm thankful for, family and friends, in addition to the wonderful food. While that is indeed the focus, I have something else that's made Thanksgiving very memorable. Imagine this. Growing up, I have 5 younger siblings, so there's 6 of us rugrats of varying ages, from middle school all the way through to teenage and college years. And then there's my parents, and we have a lot of dishes to go through every single day, even when it isn't Thanksgiving. With all the different dishes we like to make for Thanksgiving, there are a lot more dishes that are piled on top of the norm. And this made having a good, reliable dishwasher very important to my family. But there was one year when the dishwasher broke, and I'm pretty sure it broke early Thanksgiving Day, making it very difficult to keep up with the dishes. As a teenager, I loved fixing things. I'd take stuff apart, put it back together. I fixed the washer, I fixed the dryer, I fixed the oven, and I helped try to fix the dishwasher this time around. I don't remember if we managed to fix it, but the following year we had a much more reliable dishwasher. I think my parents moved to a brand that had the highest ratings and spent top dollar on it. And it broke again, year after year. For 3, 4, maybe 5 years, around the week of Thanksgiving, the dishwasher would consistently crap out. To us, it felt a little bit more than coincidence. We'd start joking leading up to Thanksgiving that, we need to be looking for dishwashers now because it's going to break. And it was just a joke, but then it would. And every year we'd pull it out and we'd try to fix it. I've got pictures of me visiting home recently. Since growing up, getting married, moving out, having kids, I go home for Thanksgiving and the dishwasher still craps out. Talk about an inconvenient expense that can make an expensive Thanksgiving meal feel all the more financially painful. Stuff happens, and Murphy's Law doesn't take a break for the holidays, so it's important that we make sure that we don't break the bank while we're hosting our very favorite holidays. And that's what we're talking about in our main topic. For our main topic today, we're going to be going through this article from Simply Holistic Wellness. The article is called 10 Ways to Save Money on Thanksgiving. Making sure that we're not spending too much on the holidays and that we're maximizing our happiness per dollar spent, saved, and given is going to help us have an even happier Thanksgiving and protect us from unforeseen expenses that could add a lot of stress, like I talked about in the story. Before we jump in the article, I do want to share one thing. I'm wearing my pie bow tie today because I am gearing up for the apple pie, the pecan pie, and the pumpkin pie. With that, let's dive into the article. Budget-friendly Thanksgiving ideas. Don't be scared by the idea of budget here. We're just, when I say budget, think intentional spending that maximizes your happiness. With the holidays quickly approaching, there's no denying that most of us are feeling financial pressure. But don't worry, you can still have an unforgettable Thanksgiving dinner without breaking the bank. That's the goal. I've got all the budget-friendly tips and ideas you need to make a delicious feast without racking up sky-high credit card bills. Please, for the love of all things good and holy, do not borrow money in order to host Thanksgiving. From planning ahead to DIY decorations, I've got it covered. So stop worrying about tight budgets and start planning your holiday meal. With these helpful tips, you can rest assured that the upcoming celebration will not break your wallet. Before getting into the tips, the article expands on some of the challenges that are most common when hosting Thanksgiving. Hosting Thanksgiving on a budget can feel like an uphill climb. As you strive to create a memorable holiday experience for your loved ones, you might find yourself wrestling with the financial realities of creating a feast that is both delicious and affordable. Here are some of the common challenges people often encounter. The cost of ingredients. This is all the more painful this year with how inflation's been, right? Price tag on all the side dishes, desserts, and drinks can quickly add up and stretch your budget. 2, decorations. Creating a festive atmosphere often means investing in decorations, which can be another significant expense. Number 3, quantity versus quality. Balancing the need to have enough food for everyone while still maintaining quality can be a tricky tightrope to walk. And number 4, the fourth challenge most people run into here, last-minute expenses. Unexpected costs like additional guests or forgotten ingredients can throw a wrench in your carefully planned budget, or a dead dishwasher. Please, I really hope that I didn't jinx you by talking about the dead dishwasher in the story. If your dishwasher dies this Thanksgiving, let me know in the comments below. I'll pray for you. For that, let's jump into the article's first tip for a budget-friendly Thanksgiving, and that's going to be plan ahead. Planning is a crucial strategy for saving money when hosting Thanksgiving. It allows you to make a thoughtful, budget-conscious decision and avoid last-minute costly purchases. I think of planning ahead as a good way to make sure that I'm making my decisions very intentionally. Avoiding impulsive purchases can really help shield you from overspending. Here's how to effectively plan your Thanksgiving feast without breaking the bank. 1. Set a budget. Determine how much you can afford to spend on your Thanksgiving celebration. This will guide all your planning decisions. If you give yourself a limited advance, you're much more likely to stick to it and not experience significant pain later. 2. Create a detailed menu. Know exactly what you're making. This will prevent you from overspending on unnecessary ingredients. One thing that's helped me when we've hosted Thanksgiving in the past is to make a list of the dishes that are absolute have-tos and the ones that are more wants. That way I have a priority list that I can walk down if the budget gets tight. 3. Make a shopping list. Based on your menu, create a comprehensive shopping list. Stick to it to avoid impulse buys. 4. Shop early. Start shopping as early as possible. This allows you to take advantage of sales and discounts over time rather than making large, expensive purchases all at once. This also enables you to take advantage of sales leading up to Thanksgiving and coupons that you might be able to find in advance. As we get much closer to Thanksgiving, it's going to be harder to find deals on common ingredients because the grocery stores know that they're in demand. They're not going to mark them down when everybody wants them. 5. Use what you have. Before you shop, check your pantry. You might already have some of the ingredients you need. I really like the idea of making a comprehensive list of all the ingredients you need and starting your shopping at home. Go through your pantry and your fridge and mark off the things you already have. And that leads us to tip number 2, potluck it. Embracing a potluck-style Thanksgiving is a fantastic way to ease the financial burden of hosting while also allowing your guests to showcase their culinary skills. Whenever we visit my family, I like to bring something so that I feel like we're contributing to a very important holiday meal, or I like to help cook the meal when I'm there to help take the burden off my mom and dad. This communal approach not only makes the meal more varied and exciting, but it also distributes the cost among attendees. Here are some practical tips for organizing a successful Thanksgiving potluck. Number 1, coordinate dishes to avoid ending up with 10 pumpkin pies and no stuffing. Coordinate who brings what. You can either assign specific dishes or at least ensure a balance between appetizers, main courses, side dishes, and desserts. I might recommend setting up a Google Doc where you list all the different types of dishes that you would like to see at Thanksgiving and have a little sign up next to each dish for those who you're inviting over if a potluck is what you want to do. Point number 2 under potlucking it is communicate dietary restrictions. Ensure all guests are aware of any dietary restrictions or allergies in the group so everybody can enjoy the feast. If you go with a Google Doc route to plan your Thanksgiving in this way, having a column for dietary restrictions would be pretty wise. Point number 3, encourage seasonal recipes. Suggest that your guests use seasonal ingredients. They're often more affordable and give the meal a festive touch. I would also just encourage people to make their favorite version of traditional dishes, especially if you're not familiar with the recipes that your guests have as their favorite Thanksgiving meals. Lastly, don't forget about drinks and utensils. Remember to coordinate who brings beverages, extra serving utensils, and even disposable containers for leftovers. Ooh, this is a really good point because I can imagine a situation where you do a potluck, everyone's got the food laid out, and you don't have enough scoopers to help dish it out. I also love the idea of people bringing containers proactively to take leftovers home. That way they're not shuffling around to try to bring you back your Tupperware, which can be a real pain if people are traveling for your Thanksgiving meal. Okay, let's move on to the third tip from the article, which is shop smart. Smart shopping is a key component of hosting a budget-friendly Thanksgiving. With some strategic planning and savvy decisions, you can significantly cut costs of your feast without sacrificing quality or abundance of your spread. Here are some tips for smart shopping. First point, compare prices before making purchases. Compare prices at different stores. Some may have special holiday deals or lower prices on certain items. I think this is a great tip for your regular weekly shopping, let alone Thanksgiving. My wife knows which store has the best price on eggs, which one has the best price on milk, and the other staples that we commonly buy. Point number 2, buy in bulk. If you're hosting a large gathering, considering buying in bulk. Stores like Costco or Sam's Club often have lower prices for large quantities. Warning, buying in bulk is not always cheaper when you break it down per unit cost. It can save you on some items, but definitely not all of them. Point number 3, use coupons and discounts. Look for coupons and discounts in local newspapers or store flyers or online. Every little bit of savings adds up. Amen. Point number 4, buy seasonal produce. Seasonal fruits and vegetables are often cheaper and fresher. Incorporate these into your recipes where possible. This is something that I wish I knew about a little bit earlier in my life. There are certain items that are simply stored in refrigerated warehouses forever. And by the time they eventually get to the store when they're off season, they're really not the greatest quality anymore. That is compared to when they were for sale and in season. Okay, let's move on to point 6 under smart shopping. That's going to be avoid pre-cut or prepackaged items. These are often marked up. Buy whole fruits, vegetables, cheeses, and do the prep work yourself. I think this is, again, good advice for your shopping in general, let alone Thanksgiving. Lastly, limit specialty ingredients. Plan your menu around simple, affordable ingredients and limit the number of specialty items which can quickly drive cost up. If you have a favorite dish that is dependent upon a particularly expensive or specialty ingredient, hop online and look up substitutions for that particular ingredient. You're going to be surprised how many affordable alternatives there are, which probably won't really impact your recipe that much. Personally, on occasion, when I've substituted out expensive ingredients for something that's more affordable, I find that I like the recipe more. You never know until you try. All right, let's move on to major tip number 4 from the article, and this is one that I'm a little loose on: DIY decorations. Creating your own DIY gives you an opportunity to showcase your creativity. You can also involve family members in a fun pre-holiday activity. I've personally never been super crazy about decorations for Thanksgiving. I focus a lot of my time, attention, and budget on the food. But I have to admit, I've seen some really pretty fall decorations that I find rather attractive and may want to investigate in the future. I'll probably follow some of these DIY tips to integrate some more fall decorations into my home. Let's move into the first point on how to do this. Use natural elements. Take advantage of the abundance of natural elements during the fall. Pine cones, leaves, acorns, and branches that can all be used to make beautiful centerpieces or table settings. Number 2, recycle and upcycle. Look around your home for items that can be repurposed. Old jars can become candle holders. Wine corks can be turned into card holders. And old sheets or cloths can be used to create table runners or napkins. I really like the idea that as we're decorating, which is arguably a want over a need, that we are reducing, reusing, and recycling. Let's move on to point 3, printables. There are many free Thanksgiving printables available online. These can be used for wall art, placemats, place cards, and more. Point number 4, handmade place cards. Get crafty with your place cards. Use cardstock and markers or incorporate elements like leaves or mini pumpkins. Number 5, DIY garland. Make a simple garland with string and construction paper. Cut out leaves, pumpkins, or other festive shapes and attach them to the string. I remember growing up once making those little chain decorations with construction paper that were particularly fall colored when we hosted a really large Thanksgiving. And for the last point on DIY decorations, pumpkin decor. Pumpkins are a staple of Thanksgiving decor. Paint them, carve them, or use them as they are for a festive touch. I wonder if you could get some really good deals on pumpkins shortly after Halloween, but before Thanksgiving if you're using them for decorations. Let's move on to the fifth major tip on this article that can help you host Thanksgiving without breaking the bank. That's going to be save money on entertainment. One area where you can cut costs without sacrificing fun is entertainment. Here are some ways to save money on entertainment for a budget-friendly Thanksgiving celebration. 1. Host a movie night. Instead of going out to the cinema, host a movie night at home. You can choose a family favorite or Thanksgiving-themed movie. Make some popcorn and enjoy a cozy evening. One movie that my family always watches around Thanksgiving at home is Miracle on 34th Street because we love that it starts with the Thanksgiving Day Parade. 2. Organize a game night. Board games, card games, or even video games can provide hours of entertainment for the whole family. You can make it more interesting by adding a friendly competition element, like a prize for the winner. This is something my family does a lot around Christmas time, and I know that my wife's family really enjoys playing cards around the holidays. A really inexpensive way to make the card game a little more special might be buying some Thanksgiving-themed playing cards and then playing your family favorites. Point number 3, cook together. Cooking the Thanksgiving meal can be a fun and engaging activity. Assign everyone a dish to prepare. This way, you'll not only save on dining out, but also create wonderful memories. I gotta tell you, one of my favorite memories from cooking Thanksgiving with my family was when my sister started helping. When she was really little, she and I were always assigned the homemade croissants. My mom would make the dough in the bread machine, and we'd pull the dough out, cut it in half, and roll it into 2 giant circles. We would then spread butter on them, cut them up into pizza slices with a pizza cutter, and then roll them up and bake them. It was one of her favorite things to do with me, and I started looking forward to it every single year. Point number 4, enjoy nature. If the weather permits, plan an outdoor activity. A family walk or football game in the backyard can be a great way to bond. I remember the fall season up in the mountains of Colorado. My dad used to throw the football with us on the street. We'd play a game where 1 or 2 brothers played defense and 1 brother played receiver, and my dad was the quarterback, and we'd work our way down the street where we lived. Finally, number 5, virtual gatherings. If your family is far away, consider a virtual gathering. Platforms like Zoom and Google Meet can help you connect with loved ones without the need for travel expenses. I might also recommend taking a hybrid approach where some people who simply can't make it to Thanksgiving join you briefly over a video call with all those who can make it in person. Remember, the key to a memorable Thanksgiving lies in the quality time spent with loved ones, not how much you spend. And that is a great sentiment to end this episode on. Don't feel like the happiness that everyone's going to experience and the amount of memories is directly correlated to how much you spend. It's not. You don't need to spend a lot in order to have an awesome holiday. The best advice I can give you at the end of this episode is focus on being sincerely present with your loved ones this Thanksgiving and be deeply reflective and genuine when you share what you're most thankful for this year. And until next week, until next Tuesday, budget bravely and enjoy your hope-filled financial future.